Well, welcome to the show. It's a big team naming Wednesday here in Paris, and the All Blacks have made 3 changes. Brodie Retallick drops down to the bench with Sam Whitelock starting the game against Argentina. Samisoni Tokiaho replaces Dane Coles on the bench, and then Mark Talia leapfrogs back into the first 15. He's wearing the number 11 jersey, with Leicester Fainga'anuku dropping out of the 23. So let's take a look at the presser. What are the reasons behind the other changes you've made to the team, and were you tempted to tinker a bit more with the side?
For us, we've basically effectively trusted the combinations we had last week. Having Sam start, bring a little bit of extra energy into that pack early. We've got Brodie coming off the bench. Samisoni in for Colsey is a very similar story. Mark's proven himself for us this tournament, and we believe it's right to put him in. So kept the changes to a minimum, but I think they're important.
There's plenty of us who have that hurt and some scars from 2019, and there's 2 very different Mondays we can turn up for next week, and one of them is horrible. We know that the game just being in the weekend is no indication of how we're going to play the following week. Like, it's going to come down to the work we put in and the ability for us to turn up mentally right on edge and be better than before.
How do you stay grounded this week and not burn out before game day? What sort of things are you doing?
We know we've got to be better again this weekend. Simply the emotions, the intensity, it's all on the line this weekend. It's our final. Once again, it's how we treated last week's game. We're well aware of the great supporters the RGs have, and if you give them a good sniff early on, they thrive off that, and they can smell blood. But yeah, we're up for the challenge. Whatever comes our way, we'll be ready.
Personally, for me, going into this game, I want to really start better. My execution was off for a good chunk of that game, and I cost our team dearly with a yellow card, and my first 2 passes found no one. So personally, I'm just trying to make sure I can execute my role for the team, and I think in the second half I was able to do that. Just do my job, trust my instincts, and play.
So yeah, boys, this song wrote for the brothers. Through the rivers to the shore, down every highway, from the lakes and mountains to the sea. We have passion in our hearts, we've been with you from the start, and we'll be with you till the end. Southern Cross, our stars in the sky, to the land of the long white cloud we will ride. Wherever you are, we'll be by your side, cheering with our hearts as you move double wide. Our team in black with a job to do. We'll be singing our song. Wherever you are, we'll be by your side, cheering with our hearts as you move double wide. Our team in black with a job to do. We'll be singing our song for you. Singing our song for you.
Francois, huge game, South Africa versus England. How are the boys feeling in camp? How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I think we've seen this movie play out before. Like, it's you got one eye on the final, but don't forget the next step. You don't want to underestimate anyone and get ahead of yourself. So the focus will be like purely on England. You know, the guys are confident. They're going to take massive confidence from knocking France down. They've got to keep focus. You know, they've got to keep just fine-tuning that strategy, fine-tuning themselves, and just, you know, making sure that they peak at the right moments. You know, there's no space for even the slightest of lull in any individual. You're going to get caught out. And we saw these games, how they unfolded, how tight they can be, and, you know, every little point matters.
All Blacks versus Argentina. Argentina have got a couple over us in recent years. I mean, how you seen this one play out?
The Argentinian team that
beat us those last couple of times as possibly a better team. But they have got better during the World Cup. I thought they'd be beaten England in round 1, but they didn't, and they've just slowly but surely got better, and obviously beating Wales, who had turned their World Cup around too. So, felt, yes, treated with some respect, but you just think, I know but we've always talked about how hard it is to go bang, bang, but you just think with where the All Blacks have been the last couple of years, that motivation and emotion won't be a problem, and I think for the first time in a couple of years they're probably starting to feel the proper love of our country that they should, you know, even though they're a long way away. I think by all accounts everyone's unified now, and we've parked the last year or two, and they're all in on it. So, and I think obviously we're all there on Saturday night now, how special it was and what a buzz it would have been for the boys when they, I guess, bumped into Kiwis and started doing their lap and stuff like that. I reckon that will be, they'll be wanting to go there again, I'd have thought.
Yeah, united is a good word for it. It does feel a little bit more like that now, right?
Yeah.
Into the semi, it's quite cool. We all played in Rugby World Cup finals, and we all came off the bench, Beaver and I in 2011, Francois you in 2019. Do you reflect back to that time and kind of remember how that felt and what that was like?
As you know, you're always building up, you know, you're improving as a player, but then you kind of hit your peak, and then the new blokes come through, the new kids come through, and swallow your pride a bit, and you know, try and do what's best for the team, obviously the outcome, and then you know, you sit on the bench, but still to be involved is awesome.
What about you, Beav? You remember that, sitting on that bench were we sitting next to each other? I think we might have.
Probably were. I mean, I know I had Hori one side of me because I was quite relaxed to listen to, as you know, what Hori's like on the bench, but our circumstances were a wee bit different, and sort of when I was there, didn't really know if I had a role to play at all or if I was going out there, and that was probably a good space to be in too. And
Is that how you felt?
Well, yeah, I guess obviously being called in so late and didn't really know if, you know, if I was going to get out there at all or not. And then obviously, remember when Cruds went down and didn't really, you know what it's like. You go, oh no, he'll be right. I remember Medico saying, he'll be right. And then when Cruds unfortunately collapsed on his knee when he tried to stand up, that's when I guess the jolt of reality struck that we're out there now.
My wife sat a couple of seats down from your mum, and Em still talks about your mum like literally like that the whole game, and someone goes, he's about to kick a goal, and she looks up and she watched you kick it, and then she just went straight, and she couldn't watch until the end. Amazing stuff. If we hadn't won that, mate, I don't think we'd be sitting here. Yeah, no, we wouldn't. No,
we're probably living here, mate.
I mean, you also became a movie star. I mean, I didn't see that one coming.
No one did. No one did.
How do you know each other?
Well, we signed at Bath the exact same time. As you know, it's like, Andy, when you're going to a foreign team, the foreigners is a little bit of a straightaway little group, and we bonded, and away we went.
I don't know, you guys like perceived us as a different species.
We sort of did.
Kind of just
so big.
kind of just the same. Just want to have a good time.
Francois Lowe and Stephen Donald staying in an Airbnb together in the middle of Paris. How did this come about, boys?
Well, we decided to pull together into the kitty and get an Airbnb in central Paris. Don't get the hopes up too much. Make yourself at home.
You've just walked through my bedroom, Andy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. What about... Oh, yeah. The boys are... What are these things? What's in the freezer?
What is
That's
it?
the previous guess. I don't know what's in the freezer.
What is that?
What is in there? Don't go in there.
Sure, I wouldn't touch it.
You've broken our freezer.
Yes, I have.
We're gonna lose our bond.
Not sure.
Our host's not going to be too happy with that.
Well,
That went well.
Well, that's it. I think you've pretty much completed your tour of the venue.
What's going on here?
Oh, you know, I've got a sweet tooth.
Just for clarity, that's we're not sharing the bed.
Oh, you're not?
There is
the
another-
other bed's up there, yeah.
Franco's up there in the loft.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
on the mezzanine floor. Is it mezzanine?
You don't need me.
Mezzanine, yeah.
Mezzanine floor.
Yeah.
You don't need me creeping around up there. Yeah, running a little bit late. Just got held up at the last thing, but no, we're here now. Got 2 minutes to go, so don't know if we're going to get a very good seat. Quick coffee. We don't have time for coffee. We need to go.
En esta conferencia de prensa mucho hablamos de esta situación de hacemos lo mejor que podemos.
Chick, Andy Ellis here from NZR Plus. How are you, mate? Good to see you. I know a lot of the guys you've coached, and they all talk about your unique way to inspire and motivate the groups you're part of. Can you give us any insight into what that inspirational motivation looks like this week as you lead into this All Black team?
Look, I don't think in this weekend, I don't think there's much motivation required. You know, I think it's more maybe a bit of, you know, telling a story as to why we're a chance, like why we can be in there and believe, you know, building more belief in ourselves. It's something that we've been working on hard, and trying to get players to believe in a winning mentality, you know, and understand what's required to have that. And this is really learning on the job here in the World Cup for a lot of the lads. Like they've, you know, maybe the first game we didn't handle it too well, and then we sort of got a handle on it better. Julian's done a great job with the team in that regard. So yeah, it's part of it, and it's definitely a different challenge trying to do it in another language as well. But I love doing that stuff, and especially the guys here, they're so open to new ideas and new things. It's really quite rewarding in that regard, yeah. Thanks.
Just like that, we're done. The Roland Garros presser, and I nailed it. Woo-hoo!
Paris, the city of love. But there've been no holiday romances for me on this tour, so instead I'll be falling back on a love that's never let me down. Cheese. Bonjour. According to Google, nearly 50% of all French people eat cheese every day. Nicholas, how often do you eat cheese?
Almost 2 times a day.
2 times a day?
Yeah.
Every day?
For lunch every day, for dinner.
What's your favourite cheese?
You put champagne on it, and the champagne will flow on the cheese when you cut it.
Champagne on the cheese. Show me what we've got here. What can I try? Would now be a good time to tell you that I'm lactose intolerant. I like it, but maybe I like a bit stronger. Let's up the ante. That is really yum. This is the one that's very smelly. But cheese is so strong. Not in a good way. I think we're going to be sick. Thank you. Thank you very much. And maybe I'll get some crackers to take as well. Macaroni cheese. Macaroni cheese. Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Okay. It's an American thing, I think. Little cheese hearts.
From Normandy.
Normandy.
Neuchâtel.
Neuchâtel.
Yeah.
Well, merci beaucoup, Nicholas.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
And I discover.
LJJ for NZR Plus with a bit of a stomachache now, actually.